Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Man at YouTube with another model video. Today, unboxing, building and reviewing the recently released Fujimi 1/72nd JGSDF Type 99 self-propelled howitzer. Containing 28 runners with 2-hole tanks, water slide decals, stickers, the whole assortment of figures. With crazy tooling, slide injection molding and crisp detail in polystyrene grey. There is so much packed in, the lid falls short in covering the whole box. Retailing at a pricey 5,000 yen, which is okay for 2 models. The box and instructions is full, comprehensive, clear and isometric view of all the parts assembly, camouflage guide, color guide, decal guide and color codes, with reference pictures and extensive information about the unit. All bundled for a very premium, hands-on, fulfilling experience and value for money. First tooling was released in 2019, this version post-pandemic. I purchased it in Japan, otherwise very hard to find. Fujimi is a very old brand, and thus this is a traditional model kit requiring basic tools such as nippers, knife, sanding and glue together, not snap. However, it is precision fit and well designed, not really needing much in the way of putty and correct. Traditional methods such as double cutting, applying cement on both sides and sandwiching, squishing excess glue, welding the parts together. Big box, big price tag, looks very overwhelming. But with trust in the brand, there is nothing here that's particularly difficult or you wouldn't have experienced in many other higher end 72nd kits. Wouldn't even suggest building fatigue, as this is about the same as a 35th in parts count. The start eases you in with the turret and its fantastic box fit, slotting together with no problems. Then throwing down the breech and articulation socket for the cannon. A lot of fine detail. It does get a bit fiddly, and with choice of cement I would get an extra thin with a fine tip brush. After the hull sandwiches together, we rip the band-aid off and go straight into the wheels. The suspension and mounts are already neatly slide molded in the wheel wells, which is pretty sturdy and looks decent, leaning on reliable wheel alignment. All the wheels and idles chop out and slot into place. Beautifully, the tracks are already pre-molded and positioned, sandwiching together in 4 parts, making it very easy to align and quite neat with no effort. My favourite may be tracks molded in one piece, but this is a pretty good alternative. Hands down beats rubber tracks and individual links. We hit a fork in the road with the cannon mount if you want it down and deployed or up in the storage travel position. With a lot more detail, you have to make a decision, then the bayonet fitting clips the turret straight into the hull. The rest of the fine detail, stowage, weapons and hatches slot in. There are clear parts, but I will save that after painting. There's also parts to make up 10-20 figures in various uniforms and positions, commanding from hatches or machine gunning to holding banners. Neatly detailed, I really did want to build one. The proportions and detail are outstanding. This kit has great symmetry and it looks really good. Not hard to build, did it in about 3 sessions, a couple of hours each. Being armour, the kit does not require colour separation and it is 2-tone camouflage. These match quite closely colours from the Imperial era of armour, so I'm using this paint set and we'll be doing 2 tones for gradient shading to give it that lived in light casting definition and a tad of realism or something to look at via shading. It is a lacquer paint, a solvent by Mr. Hobby. It is being thinned down with lacquer car grade thinner externally in a shot glass to get the viscosity right, about water, and transparently clinging to the side in a 0.5mm mini air gun airbrush bought off AliExpress at a low PSI, powered by the very common Haoshin oilless air compressor. For the bulky nature, there is a lot of crevices, deep detail baskets and channels under the wheel well, so it drinks an enormous amount of paint and takes a few goes to prevent any overspray or grey patches from where paint hasn't reached. A slightly lighter tone was thinned down from the same set with a 0.3mm airbrush and a low plastic PSI compressor. From the sides and top was coloured in around the detail. A method called post shading, not flooding the whole amount of paint on that surface. I chose a third green colour, the lightest from my general stock, and just tickled the very top of the surface ever so slightly. With the second tone, the brown, same go from the set. I adjusted the airbrush and viscosity to produce as fine a line as possible, practicing on a bit of paper. It's a little thinner than normal, and very delicately outdid the line according to the camouflage scheme in the instructions in black and white. This was a slow process, coloured it in, and then a lighter brown for definition and shading to give it more tone across the body. The airbrushing stage was satisfactory, giving you that soft edge scheme if it was sprayed by a spray gun in shop. The body's very large, not too challenging, but hard to connect the camouflage points around the body and edges. Plus weathering up the vents with liquid smoke for soot effect. Next is hand painting, so I'm not going to be masking all of this. A few thoughts of mine of keeping the tracks and wheels separated, painting and sticking it on. I'd rather have everything glued down, starting with the outline of the rubber around the wheels, colouring in every angle of the tracks, then down the main body, and lastly picking up the details such as indicator lights and the machine gun. If you're very neat, it will be cleaned up later on in the wash section. On that note, with how deep and rich the detail is with this kit, it would be an absolute crime not to do some weathering. Utilising Tamiya Accents colour thinned with gum turpentine, I did a very heavy sludge wash and picking up excess with the corner of a tissue across all the parts. As that's going to take a few days to cure, there are multiple banners for the figures, which I'll be using one, and water slide decals. The colour and decal guide gives you all the history of the various units and regiments, which I don't understand too much. I chose one that was interesting enough. I cut out the numbers, codes and insignia, soaked it in water. It does have to be cut up, but it is pre-cut. Transferred it across within 30 seconds to 2 minutes and sealed it with a bit of clear. It was thin, strong, very easy to work with, quick drying and hid very well. Extra solutions were not required. Last few steps were neatened up with a clear matte coat to dull all the various paint and glossiness from the wash. PVA gluing in the clear parts and windows and painting up the individual figure, adding its flag, thus concluding the build and finishing the model. I've enjoyed Fujimi kits over the years. I've done a very early and a middle year one with World War II Imperial Japanese tanks and artillery. Again, I don't see them much in shops, but they're very common in Japan, as any indigenous military vehicle would be in its home country. The build was very enjoyable, but again, very expensive. Not too sure why it comes with two. I intend to share with a friend or sell the second one. All the extra bits and pieces, bells and whistles and figures is really appreciative and enjoyable. I do like articulating the turret and cannon around for these various shots and photos, and pretty happy with my finish in the build and paint. It does look very much like the actual referenced subject matter. There's nothing I did in this video that was particularly hard to pull off and should be accessible to almost anyone. More than happy to add this to my collection, inching me closer and closer to enjoying modern armor over the historical counterparts. This concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Please check out the description section down below for references, links, and my social medias where I post builds, more videos, and other content. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for further content, and we'll catch you guys next time. See you later.